It is Friday evening. It's 5:30 somewhere. It's 5:30 here on the East Coast. 4:30 Central Time. 3:30 in the mountains. And 2:30 on the Pacific Coast. But Pacific Coast is on fire, which means grab your drink because it's Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour. Oh my goodness gracious. Hello friends, I am your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, and I am here with my friends today. We have Andrew McKee, the Irish bard. He is here with us. Oh my goodness. Oh, what is he doing? He's from Life's Affair, and we are going to be having a great time with him. Claire and TJ from the Zenith Players, they are here as usual. TJ's already drinking. Oh my goodness. Is he drinking a Corona? Of course he is. I mean, there are reasons for that, I'm sure, and they may or may not be hilarious. But it is a good time to be here. I'm here, you're here, and we're all here. I have my new Superman tracksuit literally hanging on the opposite side of where my camera is right now. So that's pretty fun. And we're just going to have a great time here tonight. We're going to be talking about our nerdy interests. We're going to be looking at a promo video for myself, for a thing I'm doing. Because it is called the Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour. So it all makes sense. But sit back, relax, and enjoy yourselves, my friends, because the party is about to start. Thank you so much to the Jackdaws for providing the theme music. Let's get this party rolling. My friends, we are all here! How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Very well. Huh? That's great. End of the week. Crazy, crazy, wild week. Gotta love it.
Oh, my goodness. So many things happened this week. I mean, I lost a tooth. And not like in a fun way that the tooth fairy comes and takes it.
Oh.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit? An implant.
Oh, okay.
Like, I guess unscrewed itself. So, I have a dental appointment on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, rough week. Shakespeare got screwed.
Or unscrewed.
Unscrewed. Wow, even crazier. Okay, so Monday you'll get screwed. Okay, we'll figure. Yeah, we'll get that.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
But we just had episode 3 of Andrew's and my show went up today, and we had our watch party for it, and I saw both of you hanging out in there. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, lots of stuff is going on, and it's just overall a very good time, I think. What are you all up to?
Well, yeah, we're keeping busy. We're getting ready for this weekend. We've got Hamlet coming up.
Yeah, you do.
Tomorrow evening. And that's exciting. And yeah, I think we're just kind of checking out how things are going online. There's so many people streaming like great things right now.
There really are.
It's just like, it's really neat how everyone's evolving their art to kind of like fit a different medium.
Yeah. At the exact same time that so many people are like, you know what, I'm just turning off the internet. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing that more streaming picking up, and also streaming numbers picking up. And I mean, also for myself, like we all saw the downturn in the middle and for the second half of summer. There was a lot of, I guess, streaming fatigue for everything, and people just like, I need to get outside. And I totally understand that. But
I wonder if the future is going to look at this time period as like the renaissance of online expression.
Yes,
where people are just pouring out all what their lives are about, their artistic endeavors, you know, just all of these different things, and written, audio, and video form. I mean, it's so much compared to what we've had before. It's crazy.
I'll buy that for $1. Absolutely. Yeah. But Andrew, you were saying crazy week. How's it been crazy for you?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. A lot of silliness. I mean, we did a promotional video for our Thursday night show at Life's Affair. You know, we got together and talked about Shakespeare reviews and that show we did together and how it went. And we had trouble with the first recording of it that we did, and we had to do it again. So it ended up doubling doubling the workload a little bit this week. So that all of a sudden I was like, no.
Oh, well, real quick, speaking of Life's Affair, Maria Gavilani says, Victoria's set was fantastic this week. You had Lady Victoria on.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so well done you. I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah.
Oh, no problem. No, that was
Continue talking.
Well, last one, Lady Victoria and Craig of Farrington were on for the show the previous week, and that was great. And then the podcast Victoria was on for this week, so that was great. And it was just a lot of fun. But yeah, I also did a new template for the background and everything for our preview show. I might integrate something like that for future Shakespeare review shows too. So I mean,
I like it. I like
all
the idea.
graphics and works and everything. I mean, it constantly evolves. We constantly upgrade the look of our shows.
I was genuinely wondering if that was going to happen during our watch party today. If in the bottom, if we're just going to start seeing either people's Facebook comments, kind of like how I do, right here, of like, for instance, go support live music, buy a recording from Andrew, rather, just go to that. But or if there's going to be snarky jokes that happen in the bottom, such as like hashtag how do you Kit Kat? I mean, I was looking for it because we did it last night.
I just thought of Claire the other day, actually. There was this, I was looking through my Facebook, and they had, you have those Facebook ads that pop up, and it was this new Kit Kat promotion. And they had this huge Kit Kat display with, it looked like a Kit Kat cake of just all of these different Kit Kats all over it with multi-layers and everything. It was crazy. And I was just thinking, oh my God, Claire would just fall over looking at it.
I want to destroy it.
I know, right? So yeah, that was immediately where my brain went. For those of you that don't know, Claire likes Kit Kat a little bit from what we've gathered. I mean,
she destroys Kit Kats.
Yes.
She infuriates the internet with Kit Kats.
We all have our things. That's her thing, apparently.
And the hashtag we have created for her here, and I am very happy for her to just take this from me and run with it, because it'll mean that I've put something out into the world. But hashtag how do you Kit Kat?
I never realized how many people have strong opinions about how you need to eat a Kit Kat. There's, and we need to look at how we determine what is right and wrong in the world. And apparently Kit Kat eating.
Wow, it's like Jonathan Swift and how people cut open their eggs. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
So are you suggesting then we have a modest proposal for how to properly eat our Kit Kat bars?
I mean, I guess there's something to be learned from it.
Hopefully it's something that doesn't involve babies. Yes, I hope so.
No promises. No promises at all here.
Yes, it's Shakespeare's Shameless self-promotion happy hour. So you're going to get some literary references. I'm sorry. It's gonna happen.
But Andrew, continue going on what you were on about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was just... worked on a new template and love that. Upgraded a lot of graphics, and that is always I mean, it's fun. It's an artistic expression, and I've been having a lot of fun doing that because I mean, working in video editing and Photoshop and doing all this stuff is great. And the weird thing is I have learned so much in the last 6+ months because I mean, I'm a much better sound engineer because I'm editing audio every single week from different performers and different musicians, and mixing and mastering that. And then video, I'm color correcting and editing and getting every single week multiple videos. So yeah, I mean, when you look at it, wow, it's like at least 24 videos I've worked on in the past 6 months. Actually, a lot more than that, but at least that. And so that's a lot of practice and experience. And then, of course, graphics. I mean, coming up with new backgrounds, new transitions, new borders, all of this kind of stuff. I do everything myself. I mean, I don't use anything else. Generally, I come up with everything or start with something else as a basis and then change it so much I make it my own. And that's just, I use straight OBS and do it all. And I know it's a lot more work, but it also allows me to make it exactly the way I want, and I like that.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I mean, but this week it's just been crazy with a lot of little things going on, and Facebook was doing some weird stuff this morning, so we ended up getting the you too. Okay, it's not just me.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, the premiere for the Shakespeare reviews, it wasn't getting uploaded, and we finally got that figured out. And Facebook last night to the preview that we did some weird stuff.
I don't know if they're fixing something with like some update, but
yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, and in the watch party, it took me a while to figure out how to not post as Life's Affair. I was trying to post as myself, and the little option to click on it to make it so that you could change and post as yourself or somebody else, it wasn't there. I was clicking on the icon going, what? I finally found if I clicked a little to the lower left, right below the icon in the small little pixel, it would let me change it. But that was it. That was the only. So yeah, they got to be changing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right now, you're watching Inside Baseball of how to properly have your online streaming experiences here with Claire, TJ, Andrew, and your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. Up next, we're going to be talking about the proper USB or Bluetooth microphones you should or should not be using.
Yeah, so blue snowball, which is a very good one. How you throw that is you have to put both fingers, a split finger is by far the best method of throwing it. And yeah, you've got to really just, work it and keep your eye where you want it to go. It's surprising. People forget that. But the motions that you get used to after you get past the age of 5, they automatically want to aim something at where your eyes are focused. It's very important.
My favorite part of that was Claire's eyes immediately shone with delight, and TJ looked incredibly interested in what you were saying. She's like, "Oh wow, we're just doing this. We're going with the bit." And TJ's going, "No, really, tell me more." Yes.
Well, it's really important that you throw the ball in such a way that it's within the ability of the batter to hit it, but that he doesn't hit it.
Yes.
And also, I need to point out, that's a one I didn't want to use. It's very important to point out, even though we're calling this Inside Baseball, it's a really bad idea to throw the microphone.
Yes,
I mean, please don't actually mic
it
drop.
is, but I will say the blue snowball is constructed so well. I think it would be more like those Shure microphones where it would probably take it if you had somebody with a catcher's mitt to catch it.
Who hasn't wanted to throw their microphone at some point?
That is a very valid point.
I am amazed that this bad Larry continues to work, for I have just simply dropped it onto hardwood or concrete surfaces so many times. So it's a good time. And if anyone's watching, then you know what we're talking about. But so that's what Andrew's been up to this week, of all of the editing and everything. And also on that, I think we can all just kind of weigh in saying, yeah, we're there. We're becoming way better sound editors or video editors, or just overall, like, just general show producers. Like,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of the show Big Brother for much of its 20-year history. And after watching last night's episode, as well as many other episodes where I've complained about this, I feel like my on-the-fly editing and producerial skills are better than theirs, and they make actual money for it. So I just need to put that out there.
Yeah.
So CBS, if you're watching, I'd like a job.
And you reach a point where it's no longer, can you make it better? Yeah. I mean, it's just like you get to a point where it's like, it's taste. I mean, do you want it to look more like this, or do you want it to look more like that? And once you reach that point, and you'll know when you do, you get to that, you realize, okay, I'm no longer beginner with this. I am past that. I'm at least intermediate. And, it's more just what you want it to look like. Like right now, my screen right now is certainly more. It's a little more on the blue side, of the spectrum, and I think Claire down there is more. It's a lot less blue, of course. I mean, definitely in the white balance, and Will over here is somewhere, I'd say somewhere in between, actually.
Yeah, I definitely, like, the lights in this room are definitely a little bit warmer, and I don't have the entire room lit right now. This is also a difficult room to do great lighting on. I have new lamps coming, by the way. I'm very excited. But my favorite to do when the weather and lighting conditions are accommodating, and fingers crossed tomorrow will be, is to do these shows outside. To not just use natural lighting, but to be outside making use of the natural lighting and the natural lighting environment. So to try to give people a little bit more of a Renaissance fair feel. So,
Nice,
yeah.
very nice.
Yeah.
And that's just a style choice, and I think that's what I was talking about. It's really, it's what you want, and there's no right or wrong. It's just it's taste, and that's the best thing about art. You can't make a mistake. It's just it's what
you can, because some art is just bad. I
always
say that as a professional in the arts. Some of it's just objectively bad.
Perhaps
it's bad. Don't perhaps this. Don't be like, you know what? Everyone has something to offer.
It's bad
they
to
don't.
you. If one person appreciates it, then it's art. That's
you know what? Your mum putting it on the fridge might make you feel good.
Okay.
But when you are 37, you need to move beyond that.
One objective person appreciates it.
I mean, otherwise it's a sad thing, and you're just enabling things that shouldn't be happening. It's, hey everybody, look, Ringo wrote a song. Let's put it on the fridge.
Well, what is the true success of art in whether somebody's appreciating it or whether it was a tool to express something that words could not?
I will say the true success of it is if it is able to express something, and that is good. But don't be Ringo.
I mean, you know,
as an artist, don't be Ringo. Living your best life, totally be Ringo. I mean,
you know the definition of music, the actual definition of music. It's just the difference between music and noise. Music is sound, governed by time.
All right.
So there's a time component approach to sound, and that's music. That's it. That's all you have to do. I mean, otherwise, it's just random sound, which is noise.
You know what? I'll give that to you as someone who has paid money to see Ringo star in concert. So,
and that's the other difference, because I think art,
I have given him money,
is art, but valuable art. Well, then, you know, whether it has value, that depends on.
You know what? He did write Octopus's Garden, and
there you go.
I will not say that is great art to be hung up in the pantheon of songs or great works of painting, like you might see with Picasso or something. But in terms of an earworm, well done.
Yeah. And it's
all I can hope for.
Just a fun phrase. Let's just be honest here.
Also, yeah. All I can hope for is get my own Octopus's Garden. So that's all I can. And he married a Bond girl, so he's doing okay. He's doing okay. You know what? You know what? That's a nearly good time to break for an ad.
There you go.
We haven't even gotten into talking to the Zenith players. We've just been like having a random thing here on Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour. I don't even know what's going on, but you know what? It's cool. So, friends, oh, goodness gracious, hit the wrong slide. Oh, goodness, hit the wrong slide again. Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour is brought to you by the good people at Hill Storage and Rigging Company. Hill Storage and Rigging Company, no job too large or too small. You can call them at 717-944-7676 or by going to hillrigging.com. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing your equipment is in skilled and experienced hands with services from our machine movers and erectors in Middletown, Pennsylvania. Established in 1967, Hill Storage and Rigging Company is a family-owned and operated full-service millwright serving industries in the Mid-Atlantic states and beyond. We are a women-owned small business with hours of operation Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, available Saturdays and Sundays by appointment only. Hill Storage and Rigging Company, no job too large or too small. Again, call them at 717-944-7676. Thank you so much to Hill Rigging for being the sponsor of Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour and Shakespeare's Coffee Break, which is Monday through Thursdays at 3 or 5 p.m. If you would like to become a sponsor of the show, please go and drop me an email, shakespeare@shakespeareapproves.com. Yes, I like money. I'll take it. I'll talk about your stuff. It's cool. I'm really talking myself up here right now. It's one of those days. Anyway, let's get back into talking with our friends. Claire and TJ are talking about me like, is he okay?
No, we're not. We know you're not.
Is he? You know what?
We took a poll, so no, yeah, we know you're not. It's fine.
Oh, goodness gracious. So
I had a quarantine brain moment where I'm like, what happens on Monday?
well, we're going to talk about that here in just a moment, because you have some good stuff, and we're going to talk about your shows. And we're at the 20-minute mark of the show already. But let's give it to you, because we'll never go this far without talking about Zenith player shows. But let's talk a bit.
Yeah, so tomorrow night at 7, we have Hamlet. And then on Monday we have Jekyll and Hyde. And,
Ooh. Now, is this the David Hasselhoff thrashing about the stage version?
No, it's the
Damn you.
The first stage version that was ever written, a year after the story came out, by Thomas Russell Sullivan, was written for an actor whose first name I don't remember, Mansfield, who kind of
Thomas Mansfield?
Maybe, I don't know. His last name was Mansfield. He was an
All
actor.
right.
It was written for him and his company, and he kind of standardized the way that the character of Jekyll and Hyde are played, like, to this day. People are copying his performance from 1880.
but, yeah.
Continue talking. I feel like I interrupted you there.
That's all right. Yeah, that's Jekyll and Hyde on Monday. Tomorrow night is Hamlet, a nice happy-go-lucky tale about the Prince of Denmark.
Oh my goodness, that is one of the most joyful stories I've ever had the pleasure of rewriting when I did the Hamlet Christmas special. I mean,
There
like,
you go.
everyone lives. It's a great time. Yeah. Like, so what version are you doing?
We are doing your original version.
Oh, the sadder one. All right.
Dies. Well, not everybody.
But you also, and I'm amazed that you've buried the lead this long. You need to learn about bragging, my friend, because someone is going to be the lead, the Great Dane. Oh my goodness, Claire Bohannock as Hamlet. Oh my goodness gracious, she wore black for the occasion and everything.
It's true. It's true.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So I spent a long time in drama school in different scenes playing different roles. But this will be my first crack at Hamlet. So I'm
following in the steps of the great Sarah.
Yes, my hero. I love her. But
the Divine Sarah.
The Divine Sarah.
Oh, the Divine Sarah.
Yes.
Oh, we're going from great up to divine now.
I don't have a pet panther though, and I don't sleep in a coffin, so it's I can only take it so far.
What? She slept in a coffin?
Only once. But it started as a photo op, but then she actually like had this really interesting idea that was like, I wonder if I could actually sleep in it. And she did, but she was also like a very small framed person and was able to, make it work. And she did.
To be fair, the bunks on Navy ships aren't much wider.
It's true.
Yeah.
She was fantastic. She needed so many. I think she had a full train car full of her shoes, based on her shoe collection.
That's just impressive.
Sarah Bernhardt is just like a fantastic person to research.
Definitely extra. That is for certain. And
yes. And then she produced her own production of Hamlet. She decided that she was throwing her own money at it and that she was going to have it rewritten to better suit her. And so we are doing Shakespeare's original text of Hamlet. But
fantastic.
It should be fun.
And that's going to be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at on your Facebook page, facebook.com/Zenith Players, and also happening as a co-stream on my page here. And then 7 p.m. on Monday night as well for Jekyll and Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
First of our 30th week of live streaming Jekyll and Hyde.
All right. So that is amazing. Amazing. And this will be the 52nd and 53rd productions.
Sure.
Yes, because last week with King Lear was the 50th.
Once we got to 50, I stopped counting.
Well, you need to keep counting so you can get to 100.
Right.
All right. So, Claire, on the topic of bragging a little bit, and taking a bit of credit and letting everyone know, like, hey, oh my God, you've only been, you've appeared in a few of the shows, but you've only been the lead, and you own the company, so it's kind of interesting. You've only been the lead a handful of times this entire period. You did it for Kate in Taming of the Shrew. What else?
And Pride and Prejudice.
Pride. Oh, very good.
Romeo.
And Romeo.
Oh, there we go. So
I
think that's all I've done, but I like to watch them. We have just such a talented pool of actors that come and volunteer for us, and I like to watch them so much. And when you're performing in these shows, you of course get to watch your fellow actors, but at the same time you are trying to characterize, and you don't get to fully appreciate just from an audience perspective what everybody else is bringing to the table. Yeah. So there's that, and it was really fun to sit back and watch King Lear like last week and just observe as opposed to being in it like I'm used to. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be an exciting and wonderful show tomorrow night. I'm really looking forward to watching it. Over on my page over here, maybe your page, I don't know. I don't know where I'll watch it. Every week when it goes up, I'm like, oh, where do I share it from? I don't know.
We did the same thing. We're like, wait.
Yeah. But so really looking forward to that. But I actually have a couple of interview questions for you about this, like genuine legit. So Andrew and I, when we were talking about 1948's Hamlet, directed by, starring, and the screenplay done by Laurence Olivier, had a discussion of older-ish men playing the Great Dane. And then you, earlier in the week, put up a fun post, and I was like, oh, who did she cast? About James Dean talking about how basically no one over like 25 or 30 should be playing the Great Dane.
He said that young men should play Hamlet.
All right.
And my very cryptic comment was, well, he's not going to be happy with our production.
Yeah. Well, so I would say you are young, but yeah, definitely not a man.
It's there's a lot of debate because Shakespeare does state that Hamlet is at school. He is pursuing his education. So a lot
doesn't say what degree though.
He doesn't. And there's a lot of discussion about him having a beard and his body type and things like that. So it's been a really big debate for over 100 years as to how old Hamlet should be. And honestly, right now we are seeing actors of all ages, of all genders, playing different characters. Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet was played 3 years ago by Derek Jacobi. I was waiting for
it's on standby at all times. And, I mean, seriously, that is on standby at all times.
You've got a hotkey program, don't you?
Not quite. I don't actually have hotkeys programmed for this program. But if I could, it would totally be, it would be the spacebar. I mean, that's what it would be.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know that the age of the actor is as instrumental to playing the role as the ability to kind of embody the character. There's a great big debate that once you have the life experience to play King Lear, you're too old to play King Lear.
But King Lear is portrayed as generally speaking elderly.
And then a large part of the problem, because it is specified though that he comes in carrying Cordelia, that if you do cast an elderly man, can he?
Chances are.
But then, all right, let's go there. If he's coming in carrying Cordelia, chances are he is, let's say, no older than 50. So, like, okay, he had a bit later in life, or you could be a little bit older. He could have had her at 50. What? What's his face? Joker. Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh,
his fiance. She just had a baby, and he's 50-ish. So it's not been unknown, and it's becoming more common for humans in general to have children later. But would it makes as much sense for him to not just go mad, but to look like it's kind of like dementia, if you happen to be on the younger side of it?
I think that there is definitely an argument for it. He does, because it's very defined, the moments of rage versus the moments of clarity. And that is something that anybody who has dealt with either a parent or a grandparent that is suffering from dementia, you will have those moments of beautiful clarity. And you can have these discussions, but then at the same time, there are moments of confusion and rage.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to look at. And these are things that are diagnosed now, that we are aware of now, that might not have been as well known when the plays were originally written. There's an argument right now that Lady Macbeth could be portrayed as having a certain amount of postpartum depression. Which I feel like is a very valid argument.
I would have just simply I would have gone with more straightforward sociopathy.
There is that, but if you look,
why not both?
The context of it, she did give birth, she had a baby, and then they're grieving the loss of the baby. So it changes things, and those are things that we kind of are able to look at now, because we just have wider scientific knowledge, we have wider medical knowledge, so it's cool.
So fun. So that was one question asked about age and sex of the actor portraying Hamlet. Now, how do you feel? I mean, granted, it is a reading. It isn't a play that you have put in a lot of rehearsal on. But this is not your first time working with the Great Dane. So how do you feel stepping into a part that so many great and also not so great actors have essayed before?
Hamlet is always intimidating. If you're not intimidated by the concept of playing Hamlet, then you don't really have a grasp of the necessary emotional and really just the mental workout that you're about to go through. So, and it's not to say that you can't be confident going in, but there's always a certain amount of trepidation when you are looking at the broad scope of the play itself, and the journey and the highs and the lows and what takes you through there, and the frustration that comes with it as well. I'm a person that doesn't have a problem choosing a path and acting on it.
Yes.
So when all of a sudden now I'm looking at this character, there's a frustration where I'm like, oh, you want to make a decision, but then you can't.
But to bring it into to compare it to something else that often has a lot of Shakespeare put in it, in the Star Trek original series episode where Kirk got split down the middle, and you had his let's just call them his Gryffindor and Slytherin tendencies on one side and his Hufflepuff tendencies on the other side, and both sides getting a bit of Ravenclaw. Or even better, when he steps in, when we go to the Mirror Universe for the first time, it was easier for him to play the amoral version of himself in the Mirror Universe than it was for the Mirror Kirk to be the pacifistic character from the Federation. So it would be easier for someone who is able to make decisions, is able to go on a determined path, to play the frustration of not knowing which way to go, to be or not to be, rather than someone who has maybe a much harder time of making a decision, picking a path, to play someone who is a very determinative figure. So if Russell Crowe, for instance, I don't know why I went with him, but we're doing it. If Russell Crowe, for instance, was a very indecisive figure, but he was playing the very determinative Maximus in Gladiator, that would have been surely a harder row to hoe, so to speak.
Yes, it's actually, I'm trying to like accurately describe it. It's an introspective quality that actually it allows for the stream of consciousness that Hamlet's soliloquies are just made of. So when Hamlet's thinking, he's communicating it to the audience. So what's in the head just comes out of the mouth. So you don't have those moments of silence necessarily where you are just sitting there thinking and thinking. And also an audience doesn't want to see you there thinking. They'd rather hear you think through the process using your words, and they're beautifully written words. So I think that also has a lot to do with it. It has a lot to do with the approach, and everything that you need to play this role is in the script. And if you ever have questions about, well, why this line specifically here, you can break it down and you could be like, okay, this line's in verse. Why is it written in verse? Why did Shakespeare choose for this syllable to be accented? And a lot of the time you can just break it down through the poetry.
That's brilliantly put. All right.
Thank you.
So now I think it's time that we perhaps move away from something quite so heavy as the work of the Great Dane. Although I will also say that none of that had been done before Shakespeare, and hardly any of it done before Hamlet. Of let's just let everyone into the inner workings, where it is both rageful and incredibly vulnerable all at the same time.
Do you think that's why Hamlet is the longest of Shakespeare's plays?
I think he was getting paid by the word.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I think he wanted to give his actor a workout, and he was like, "Oh, you want something good? You want something good? Okay, I'll write you something good."
Well, it was Burbage. Richard Burbage was the first actor to essay the role. And for those at home who don't know, Richard Burbage was the founding member of Shakespeare's acting company, and his father owned the original playhouse that they performed in, and then Shakespeare eventually buys into the company, etc., and so on. But Burbage was the lead, so that's what you know. And he and everybody for years after, for like 70 years, was always trying to like recreate Burbage. So that's just a fun thing. But you hear all the stories of he always wanted to be the big, manly, brash, heroic, burly figures, and it's almost inconceivable to have someone that big and brash and bold playing someone that's sensitive. But then coming back to the Russell Crowe analogy from earlier, look at Russell Crowe in Gladiator and then look at him in A Beautiful Mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same actor playing two very different parts of the human condition. So.
And that actually goes back to the age discussion as well. With whether Hamlet was could be played either by an older gentleman or a young man, and with Burbage originating the role and not having the standard body type of the young dashing men of his own acting company, it kind of made it a little bit irrelevant.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a conversation we can go on for a lot more and more suited for Shakespeare's coffee break. But there's something we need to do in just a minute. So friends, in just a few moments, we are going to start talking about things we are currently nerding out about. But before we do, I am going to fully self-promote myself in a thing I'm doing. Oh, where'd it go? I just dropped it. Damn it. Damn it. Why am I... How do I even have a show? Don't laugh at me.
We need an outtake reel.
Yeah.
The entire show.
Behind the scenes.
The entire show is an outtake reel. Oh my God. But for just a moment, I want to talk to you about pen pops. So these are basically little Funko Pops made of paper that feature some of your favorite Renaissance Fair performers. I'm amazed and excited and honored that I got included in this first set, which includes Lynx Kim, the Sword Swallower. It includes the Washing Well Wenches and the Cirque du Soleil cast, and Aaron Bonk and Paolo Garbanzo and the Acrobatrix. So absolutely amazing. Music the Gathering, they have their own figures. You can find out more about them on Instagram at omg.renpops. I'm going to put that into the comments here in just a moment. But we're going to watch a promotional video that I made up in my backyard the other day. Because I can, and so I'm going to force everyone to watch this with me right here and now. So it's stupid and silly, but I do hope that you enjoy.
Greetings, friend, from your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. I was just about to enjoy a wonderful cup of coffee on a beautiful autumnal day. But who could I share it with better than me? That's right. Me. From Renpops. What can you use your Shakespeare Renpop for? Well, how about a soliloquy? Alas, Renpop Shakespeare. I knew him, Horatio. You can get your own friendly neighborhood mini Shakespeare from Renpops. Go check us out on Instagram at omg.renpops. And your own friendly neighborhood Shakespeare can be yours.
It's so cute.
It really is.
That was so stupid, but I enjoy making little weird ones. I'm gonna have other ones where like he's being pursued by a bear, and then also just like throwing cats at him, and but having my cat knock him over. So I gotta like egg on my cat to do it. But yeah, so that's the thing. The site and everything will go live tomorrow, Saturday. So go and follow omg.renpops for that on Instagram, and they're going to make them live, and it's absolutely wonderful. Etienne from the Acrobatrix, he designs all of them, and it's going to be amazing. And eventually there's going to be many different versions of Shakespeare, all the different costumes I have, possibly Shakespeare in like a Superman costume or an Iron Man costume, like Iron Shakespeare. I mean, like, why not? There's Iron Spider. Spider-Man got an Iron Man variant. Why not Shakespeare? This is what I'm saying. Why not? Yeah, but let's go back into talking about things we're currently nerding out about. So, friends, I hope all of you are nerding out about something this week, and I want to know what it is. So, Claire and TJ, you don't get one together combined. No. Each of you has to have your own. Oh, yeah, I know. TJ is shocked and dismayed. But let us start with our very own Sarah Bernhardt Hamlet, Claire Bohanec, talking about what she's currently nerding out this week.
I'm nerding out about somebody using their fame for something amazing. So in 1908, kind of a long story, in a hurry, this woman named Marion Gilchrist was murdered. It was actually a horrific murder. And at the time, there was a lot of suspicion over who could have done it. And there was a lot of anti-Semitism as well. And this man named Oscar Slater was arrested and he was tried, found guilty, and he was to receive the death penalty. And he tried reaching out to different people. And finally, he, through desperation, reached out to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who actually really took an interest in the case and really wanted to kind of explore through his own character of Sherlock Holmes, kind of how it wouldn't have been possible for this man to do it. So he didn't solve the case with who actually committed this horrific murder, but what he did was he proved that Oscar Slater couldn't have done it. And he wrote it all out in book format and actually submitted it and got huge amount of crowd response to the point where people petitioned for this to be appealed, and the man was actually released and lived a full life. That's what I'm nerding.
That is pretty amazing. Oh my goodness gracious. Well done. Just well done. All right. Andrew, you are up next, sir. What are you currently nerding out about?
Well, one of the things that has been on my mind of late is how upset I get by movie adaptations of books that have very little to do with the book. I mean, it really just bugs me. It's been a thing that I think everybody's paid attention to over the years, but it just keeps getting worse, where they'll take the name of a popular book, buy the rights, and then they might use the rough plot, and that's about it.
World War Z.
Yeah. I mean, an example I thought of recently is Ready Player One, where I mean, it's a cheesy little book, but it has all of these nerd bits in there that sum up my childhood. I liked it because it had all of these references. I mean, everything from Dungeons and Dragons and Latin to movies like War Games and Blade Runner. And what did the movie do? It used none of those. It came in and all of the best parts of the book, it just ignored, used the general plot, and made its own thing. Because a popular creative entity, Hollywood thinks it can do better. It thinks, oh, we can write that better. Yeah, because it's so easy to write a hit. And all they did was they threw in a bunch of modern pop culture references, as many as they could. And people could, people watched it. And then maybe they watched it again to see if they could catch any things in the background. And nobody's going to watch that movie again. It's sad. And they could have improved on the book. There were some shortcomings. They could have made it better. But instead, in my opinion, they tried to make it mainstream. And they failed making art. And that was a Spielberg movie, which tells you a little bit about what I think about Spielberg right now. But yeah, I mean, speaking of when you get old enough to play King Lear, you're not in a position to actually to be able to play King Lear. Yeah, now that he's old enough, he can't get it. He just doesn't get it anymore. I don't know. It's strange. But there's so many books that way. It almost seems criminal and like a mislabel saying that this is the name of the movie. No. Why don't you just buy the rights and call it instead of World War Z, zombie apocalypse all over or something? I mean, whatever. I mean, just do that. Why taint the name and try to steal viewers for the first weekend from the book and have them just get upset? That's a rant. I think, grow a set and be creative. I mean, come on.
I like that. Speaking of World War Z, I would love to see it done the way the book is written, as basically a first-person POV documentary, like the Ken Burns documentaries, how they're all interview-based. and then you show some found footage in the background.
And that's the other problem. When they do that, when they make this big budget movie based on it, nobody else wants to make another movie that's even remotely like it because they're going to feel like a copycat.
Opens its way up for a limited run Amazon or Netflix or Hulu or small budget thing on here.
Don't get me started on Netflix and Amazon and all of that with how they cancel things, because that's another rant I could go into right now.
You know what? We're not gonna.
Smart man.
TJ,
you saw the look in my eye. Yeah.
TJ, what do you got, sir?
All right. So what I'm always nerding out about is something called laconic phrase. It's named after Laconia, the area that Sparta is from. If you've ever seen the movie 300, you've seen a lot of examples of this. A lot of the famous quotes from that movie are things that were actually said by actual Greeks, not necessarily in that specific situation, but for example, the big one is Spartans, lay down your weapons. Persians, come and get them. Come and take our weapons. Really badass line. Was a motto for Greek army up until 2013, I think, and is still a motto among homosexuals today. But one of my favorite examples that I'm going to quote, because I want to make sure that the wording is exact, is Philip II of Macedon, famous for being Alexander the Great's father. He invaded southern Greece and looks at Sparta and says, "Hey, should I come as a friend or as a foe?" And they replied, "Neither." So he got kind of mad about that and said, "You are advised to submit without further delay. For if I bring my army into your land, I will destroy your farms, slay your people, and raise your city."
Oh, I know the end of this one. If.
And neither Philip nor Alexander ever came to Sparta.
That is fantastic. If. Oh, so well done. It's one of my favorite pieces of history. I learned that from the Dan Carlin history podcast, Hardcore History. Yeah, just absolute wonderful podcast. Go listen to it. All right, so I'm going to talk about my thing at the moment, and that is YouTube theory videos. Basically, it helps to scratch the itch of conspiracy theorists without going down a dangerous road of actually believing in conspiracy theories and then, becoming a person that'll just buy anything. But when it's like, hey, you know what? You know who Jack Skellington might have been in life? He might have been like Ichabod Crane, or before that, the Headless Horseman, the Hessian. Yeah, that's who it might have been. Or, Elsa had to have been moving at least 12 times the speed of sound in a Frozen 2. Or, it wasn't just an ice wall in Frozen 2. It was a special type of ice. It was actually ice 11, which you only find in the clouds of Pluto, and things like that. I mean, I love theory videos. You can just go down a rabbit hole of just oh, well, that's what that means in that movie or film or TV show. I mean, that's fantastic. Yeah, let's do more on this, or just the speculative ideas of who is in the Fantastic Beasts series, who is Aurelius Dumbledore really, or things like that. Like, is he going to end up being Fox the Phoenix? I just saw Andrew make a face like, oh, interesting. Oh, is he really? I mean, just so many ideas, and they scratch your conspiracy theorist itch that everyone has a little bit of, but let it be done in a fun, socially acceptable, and eminently disposable way, that so long as people are there to create these new fun fan theories, you're not getting as many crazy people on the internet saying, well, you know what, don't take this medicine, or something like that. It's safe, and it's fun, and it's silly, and yeah, the comment threads are dumpster fires, but also, you can make new friends over there. Be like, the theories can build upon themselves, and even get back to the theorist and saying, oh, you know what? That's a really fun idea, and I love that. So That's my thing I'm currently nerding out, because I'm watching a lot of the Super Carlin brothers right now.
To be fair, most comment threads in general are already dumpster fire.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, how many comments does it take until someone gets compared to Hitler? I mean, that's...
On average, 12.
Oh, right.
Unless it's a Charlie Chaplin thread, and then it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the mustache. Come on.
No, I know where you're going with that. All right. Well, friends, we're at the point of Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour, where I actually have to shamelessly self-promote all the rest of my stuff real quick. So here we go. It's the lightning round. Coming up tomorrow at 1:30 in the afternoon, we have the Shakespeareans. What is the Shakespeareans? Well, that is simply doing my one-man improvisational audience interactive Renaissance Fair Shakespeare comedy show that I would do at a Renaissance Fair. Instead, on Zoom, we're doing Romeo and Juliet, the Flying Implement of Doom edition tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern Time. On Zoom. You can buy your tickets on Eventbrite. It is a ticketed event. This is my very first ticketed event, and I'm hoping that it goes well enough and I have enough people show up that I get to do it again, either at the end of the month or maybe in November. So please go to Eventbrite, search for Shakespeareans, or click on the link that I just threw into the comments right now. So buy your tickets right there. Go to the very easy to remember link, eventbrite.com/e/the-Romeo-Juliet-the-Flying-implement-of-doom-edition-tickets-120228421/AFF equals EBDSSBON line search. Easy to remember. So go do that. That's coming up tomorrow at 1:30, and we're going to have a great time. It's hopefully going to scratch your itch for being at a Renaissance Fair, as so many of us are missing right now, as the weather turns and the leaves are falling and there's all the beautiful hues of autumn all around us. Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have Shakespeare's Coffee Break at 3:05 p.m. It's our daily show discussing all that is best in life over coffee. And Monday's show, holy smokes, is going to be amazing. I have so many guests on that. We have May Hammer. We have Tanya Laird from Your Average Adventuring Show. We have Paolo Gobanzo from Nat 21 Adventures. We have the boys from Peckable.com, Daniel Ravapinto and Neil McGarry, because we're going to be talking about community building in role-playing tabletop games, specifically Dungeons and Dragons, but how you can build community from it and also use community building to make a better game. And it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be about inclusivity, on race, on gender, on sexual orientation, on everything. And where are the villains? Are there villains anymore? Or is it still villainous races? Is that even a good thing to do? So we're going to be talking about that on Monday. Tune in for that. It's going to be an amazing conversation, but then fun conversations every day. Lady Prudence is also going to be on the show this week, or rather next week, I should say, on October 12th. Tuesdays, we have Nat 21 Adventures. It's our live Dungeons & Dragons show where performers from the Renaissance Fair play Dungeons & Dragons for you for your entertainment pleasure. Holy smokes. You can watch that on facebook.com/Nat21Adventures and also watch it on Twitch at twitch.tv/Paolo Garbando. And speaking of Nat21 Adventures, on Tuesday, October 27th, Halloween week, we are performing our one-off Halloween special night at the Mausoleum. Heroes will be going into the Mausoleum inside of the Necropolis, the City of the Dead, for an amazing adventure that you can be a part of. Not just in the comments, as we ask you to do every week, but also you can buy your special game box to take part in the adventure. You can get that at nat21adventures.com. It's going to be silly and amazing. Yes, coming up on Thursdays, every other Thursday at 7 p.m. I still need to change this card. We have Talking Trek. It is the Star Trek podcast, videocast, featuring me and the co-owner and producer of the Connecticut Renaissance Fair, Brian Harvard. We talk Trek. We're in the middle of 23 weeks of new Star Trek happening right now. We're about to wrap up Lower Decks. and get into season 3 of Star Trek Discovery. And we have a new format with new segments, including panels. And Claire, guest on tonight's show, was actually on last night's episode of Talking Trek. You can find the show at facebook.com/Talking Trek podcast, but also go there and then subscribe to our YouTube page, because we need to get that up to 100 viewers so I can then say youtube.com/Talking Trek podcast and not youtube.com/whatever the hell the numbers are. That's just ridiculous. Come on, YouTube. I'm just alienating Facebook and YouTube tonight. That's what I'm doing. All right. On Fridays, usually about 9:30 in the morning on Life's Affair, we have Shakespeare Reviews, the new show featuring Andrew McKee and myself. You can watch it at facebook.com/Life's Affair, and join Andrew and I every Friday at 3:05 right here for our watch party, where we hang out in the comments and make fun of ourselves. And also occasionally say, that's a really good point. Oh, thank you. And stuff like that. So tune in and watch that. It is just a grand and great good time. And of course, come back next week for another Shakespeare Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour. We're going to be having a great time. To my friends here, the Zenith players and Andrew McKee, the Irish Bard from Life's Affair, thank you so much for being here. You guys are constants, and I love you all. And when I say guys, I mean that non-gender conformatively. I mean it as an all-inclusive thing. You know what? I'm just going to switch it to the Southern y'all. That's what I'm going to do. Thank y'all for coming here. Why did my face curl up like Elvis? That was weird. But thank you all for coming. I just appreciate you friends for being here. So guys, gals, and non-binary pals, as TJ likes to say at the beginning of every Zenith Players show, thank you for being here. Friends, this has been Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour. If you enjoy the show half as much as I enjoy making it, I obviously enjoyed it twice as much as you did, and that's just called math. Whatever you feel the show is worth, a 1, a 5, a 10, for a 50, I will detail your car, because I got no pride. Throw it into my digital hat by buying me a drink at coffee.com/Shakespeare. That's ko-fi.com/Shakespeare. For $5, I will send you a copy of my comic book, Julius Caesar, Beware the Eyes of March of the Penguins, available on Google. And for $7, I will send you a digital edition of my album, Are You There, God? It's Me, Shakespeare. And then for $20, I will write you a sonnet. So thank you very much for being here with me today. I love you, you love me. There's mutual glorious affection. Until next time, friends, be brave, be bold, and be courageous. And in a world where you can literally be anything, be kind. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.